Making Moves with Monique. This is Monique Hogard with the Shades of Grey podcast show, and I have a wonderful guest today, a good friend of mine. Her name is Tammara Coleman, and she is the Pre-Need Doula with the Doula Experience, y'all. She's going to dive in and talk about what she does, and it's very, very interesting. So please stay tuned, hold your glasses, hold your watches. We're about to dig in. So we want to, before the end of the month, we want to definitely pay tribute to our veterans, and we want to say Happy Men's Health Awareness Month. And the reason that we are tying this into veterans is for a few reasons, because veterans are experiencing a higher rate of PTSD, depression, and homelessness. So stable housing is a foundation piece of mental well-being, and we just want to talk about how life insurance, home ownership creates a powerful legacy with our veterans, amongst others, but we want to specifically talk about and talk to our veterans today. So, my name is Monique Hogard. Y'all know I'm a realtor. I wear many hats. I'm also a life insurance agent. And with that being said, there are numerous products that life insurance touches. It's not just for old people, which I once am guilty. I once thought that,
Yes.
but there are things to set your children up. There are things to help us with our retirement. There are things that can help us in so many situations. And Tammy is going to touch on something that is a niche market and is very interesting. So, as far as veterans are concerned, a lot of them don't realize that there are so many programs available and they have access to within the community. I work with Section 8 vouchers, and there are vouchers available for veterans. They can use them to rent a home. They can also use them to buy a home, which is huge. Myself, as a veteran realtor, I also have a veteran lender partner. He is a veteran himself, retired, and he's an expert with a lot of the VA products. So we try to make the process less stressful because we know what we can offer. We know that there is zero money down. That is huge. There's no mortgage insurance involved. So that's a savings in itself. Now, when we talk about life insurance in this particular situation, we want to make sure that if there is a veteran living in the home and they have a wife, they have children, those individuals are protected in the event something happens to them. We want to make sure that they don't have to go find another home. So, there are coverages that can help in those particular situations. Also, we want to make sure that they know about our whole life policies, our term life policies, annuities. There's so many different factors that can help them. So from boots to bricks, veteran stability through real estate and legacy planning is huge. And Tammy's going to talk about what she provides, but before you talk about the niche topic, I want you to tell people what you do, because it's very, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about the Pre-Need Doula. Exactly what is that? We have heard about birthing doulas,
Right.
but nobody really knows about a Pre-Need Doula. What is that?
Me.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, what I do at the Doula Experience is I am termed as a death doula or an end-of-life doula, aka a death midwife. And I handle all aspects of life planning. So you do not have to be dying to receive any of my services. It's all in a matter of planning, along with the life insurance. But what I do is I assist individuals who are in the midst of transitioning to get their affairs in order. I offer do-it-yourself estate planning, life insurance as well. Memorial, repast, pre-pass, and memorials, vigils. I am also a green burial consultant as well as an after-death care consultant.
Now, how did you get into this?
That's a good question. Because, sometimes you just kind of fall off into a particular job. But let's see, it stems back, got my cosmetology license some years back in 2004. Started working with funeral homes a year later, but I was working in the capacity of doing the hair and the makeup.
Okay.
And it went from hair and makeup to eventually working in the office to facilitating funerals on Saturdays, early Saturday mornings. So I have the funeral home background, and I'm still a mortuary cosmetologist. I love it to death. I love everything beauty. From life to death.
That is awesome.
And so while I was working at the funeral home, I got my life insurance license and started writing pre-need policies. And from pre-need policies to, I'm interested in becoming a death doula. And I did all of my research. And I was like, you know what? This is it.
Yeah.
And I love everything about it. I love everything about it. And I like the new addition to what I'm adding to it with the viaticals.
Talk about that. What is viaticals? What is that? What does it do? How does it help, your clients? Can you touch on that?
Yes. Well, viaticals are the viatical settlements. And they're a way for you to sell your life insurance policy for needed funds. And when you sell it, you'll be selling to a third party. And what they would do is they would assume your premiums to keep the policy going. And they would in turn pay you a lump sum.
Okay.
Now, you have options in regards to getting funds. As you know, even with life insurance, you can surrender your life insurance policy. You can dive into the cash value that's built up in your whole life insurance policy. But if you just flat out say, I don't want this life insurance policy anymore. I have 24 months to live. I'm going to the Dominican Republic and I want to live out my final days there.
Let's go.
Now, I just told you about the viaticals, but then there's also something called life settlements. And life settlements are for individuals who are 65 and older, who probably can't continue to pay, to afford their life insurance policy, pay the premiums. And so they, in turn, have an opportunity to sell. So not everyone can sell their life insurance policy. Now, if you have a chronic illness or terminal illness, you can viaticate your life insurance policy. And if you're 65 years of age or older, you can sell your life policy through the life settlement process.
Okay. So like if someone has cancer or they're dying and, the doctor tells them you have so many months to live, they can use the cash value or they can, how does that work? They can.
Okay. Well, so if you have a terminal illness, you will use the viatical direction. And, yes, you would, if you come to me, I will review your life insurance policy because not all life insurance policies can be viaticated. It would have to be a whole life policy. It cannot be a term policy.
Okay.
However, I take that back. If it is a term policy, it must be able to be converted. So if it's not convertible, they can't access any funds.
What about individuals that don't have kids, they don't have any beneficiaries, and they want to leave their money to their dog or their cat?
I think Roseanne Barr said that she was leaving her money to a cat.
It's crazy. Why do people do this? But they don't have anybody. So what would happen in that situation?
Go to the DR and live your best life.
Okay.
Or perhaps you want to set up a legacy for your grandchildren.
Or like a foundation or something.
Something to that effect. Or, hey, maybe you want to save your house. If your house is going to foreclosure, you want to save it. Although that person still is going to die, they can save the house for the family use.
Okay.
And so it's ways that realtors like yourself can assist in the viatication process.
Yep. And another thing that we can probably associate with this are estate sales, when people are getting ready to pass away or may have passed away. We see these lovely estate sales where they're trying to sell off all their items, but this is an opportunity for you, but also an opportunity for me as a realtor, because they have to sell the house. So, the realtor can assist them in that sense. And that's how Tammy and I are trying to partner up as we speak in this situation. So in that case, what do you do, or how do you need to get in touch with the owner of the home to see if the owner is still living? This is a service that you can tell the person, or it could be maybe their power of attorney that's holding the estate sale, but you want to get in touch with the individual, the owner, to say, hey, this is something that you might want to consider. Now, what if they don't have a policy, or they haven't had a life insurance policy, but now they have a terminal illness? Is it too late at that point to get it? Okay.
Because that third party, because it's going to be an investor who's going to purchase the policy, that investor wants to know first and foremost that it's at least $100,000 policy. Very rare cases, they'll viaticate a $50,000 life insurance policy. And so with that being said, they want it to be a whole life insurance policy or a convertible term policy, and it needs to be enforced for at least 2 years.
Okay.
That negates any type of what's the word I'm looking for?
I know what you're talking about.
Contestability.
So the thing is, guys, what she's trying to say is this is important, and why you need to get the policy or whole life policy beforehand, not when you're sick or you find out that you have an illness, because then it's not going to be beneficial for you. So if you have something, this is how it can be converted and can benefit you in the event when that time may come. Because it can happen to anyone. We're not tomorrow's not promised. We don't know what can happen. So definitely consider this. If you want more information, Tammy, how can people reach you? What is you want to give your phone number, Instagram?
Okay.
How can they reach you?
Well, Instagram, the Doula Experience. TikTok, the Doula Experience.
Everything Doula.
Facebook, the Doula Experience. And my email address is Tammara, and that's spelling Tammara. So it's Tammara at thepreneeddoula.com. And the website is www.thepreneeddoula, or you can get me at www.thedoulaexp.com.
Okay, so you heard it first. The Pre-Need Doula. If you have a loved one that is getting ready to pass, she's going to create an experience for your family, because when we go to funerals, we know it's a sad time, but we want to make sure that it's a time to celebrate of their passing. Not everything has to be sad.
And time of clarity. Because just like you said, no one really speaks or know about an end-of-life doula. And with that being said, there are topics that haven't been tapped into. And so the discussion needs to be made about death and the preparations that need to be in place.
So she is the expert. So give her a call, reach out to her on her different platforms. She's going to help you answer any questions. And the final thing that I want to touch on is international travel, from the standpoint you're able to use it with the viaticals. Also, being that I do international real estate, a lot of individuals don't know that, one, you can travel to other countries where they have veteran benefits, they have veteran resources, the cost of living is cheaper than the U.S., and, they have a whole community for veterans. So if this is something that you would be interested in learning, please reach out to me, give me a call. My number is 832-578-4021. And my top three are, one, the Dominican Republic, one, because it's the most traveled destination in the world. world. They have a fabulous veteran community, veteran expat community, Panama and Mexico. The temporary visas to permanent visa process is not difficult. It's not challenging. I can help you with that. I have lawyer partners in each of those countries, and we can connect you. So if this is something that you're interested in, please reach out. My Instagram is Move with Money too. And as you see here, the Shades of Grey podcast show on YouTube. So we really appreciate you, Tammara, for coming on and talking about this wonderful experience. And thank you guys for watching. We hope to talk to you soon.
Bye for now.